Hi everyone! In today's lesson you're going to learn about how to begin your informational writing piece by writing a strong hook or lead. The purpose of including a hook or strong lead at the beginning of your writing piece is to get your readers interested in what you have to say about your topic. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about the different types of hooks or leads that you could create in the beginning of your writing piece, and we're also going to talk about some different examples of these so you can begin to think about what these might look like. Since we've been focusing on thinking about how someone could survive a windstorm as we've been going through and talking about different important parts of informational writing in many of our lessons, when we take a look at the different techniques and types of hooks that you can use to begin your informational writing pieces, we are going to continue to think about how we might do this on the topic of how to survive a windstorm. So the first thing that I want to take a look at is a chart, which I will include a link to below this lesson. The chart goes through different types of hooks you can try in your informational writing. We are going to learn a little more about them so you can decide which hook would fit best with your informational piece. The first type of hook that we're going to talk about is a question hook. When you write a question hook, you're beginning your writing piece by asking a question to your reader. So the purpose of this is to get your reader thinking about how the topic you are giving information on either relates to them personally, or it can be to get them to think about what they already know about the topic, which then you will build on through the information that you give in your piece. This includes a question, and a few examples of these are listed over here to the left. One example that you could do if you were creating a question hook on the topic of how to survive a windstorm is, you may have heard of the damage that hurricanes and tornadoes can cause, but how about the damage that can be done by a windstorm? So in this question, we're getting the reader to think about what consequences can result after a windstorm, and then after we've gotten the reader thinking and interested, it would be an appropriate time to go ahead and present our information and go into more detail on how a windstorm can be survived even in very dire conditions. Another type of hook that you can try is a statistic hook. This involves giving real data or facts that highlight the significance of your topic in a specific way. As you move from thinking about the genre of narrative writing to informational writing, you might remember that in narrative writing, creating a strong hook or lead at the beginning of your writing piece is important in that genre as well. As we think about hooks in informational writing, you will notice some similarities between ways you can hook your reader, get them interested in reading what you have to write, but there will also be a few hooks, such as a statistic hook, that you wouldn't typically see in the narrative genre, but you would see more often in the informational genre. Oftentimes when you're giving information, being able to back up that information with facts will add to your evidence and help your reader to believe the information that you're giving them more and help it to have more of an impact on them. And so this is one hook that is definitely one that is used very often in the informational writing genre. For example, if you were giving a fact involving data, nearly 17,000 people were without power after a heavy storm that moved throughout western New York on Sunday evening. Another type of hook you could use to begin your informational writing piece is a quotation hook. The purpose of a quotation hook is to give a statement that a person has said relating to your topic that offers some sort of perspective on your topic that then you can go into more detail about as you begin your informational piece. So, for example, this was a quote from George R.R. Martin. A cold wind was blowing from the north, and it made the wind rustle like living things. This can get your reader thinking about your topic in preparation for all of the information you're going to give on that topic. A quotation hook is similar to including dialogue as you might with a hook used in the narrative genre, but since we want to make sure that an informational piece, if we're including things that others have said, we want to be able to always list or write who said that statement to make sure to help our reader to know our source and where we got that information from. Another type of hook you can include is an action hook. This can be done by beginning to describe different events that relate to information you're presenting on the topic. And if done at the beginning of your piece in your hook, this can get your reader to feel as though they're right in the middle of the action, especially if the information you're giving involves a lot of action or excitement. So this would include one or more events that relate to your topic. For example, a very action-packed hook that falls under this type of hook would be the strongest windstorm in recent years ripped Rochester to shreds Wednesday, blocking roads, damaging homes and businesses, destroying trees, and knocking out electricity to more than 100,000 customers in Monroe County and tens of thousands more nearby. So as the reader, I'm already imagining all of this action going on, and it's giving me some information about the devastation caused by this windstorm. So if I were to begin thinking about how I would survive a windstorm, knowing all of this action and these events that were happening would help me to consider what I would need to know to be safe during it. Another type of hook that you can try out is including a shocking statement. So the purpose of this type of hook is to evoke emotion from your reader in response to a topic. This can be happiness, this can be sadness, this can be anger. It really depends on the purpose that you have for presenting the information that you are. So that is something to consider as well when you're deciding what kind of emotion you want to evoke from your reader. This is a statement that will cause the reader to have a specific reaction. For example, Mother Nature can be a cruel force claiming the lives of thousands of people each year. When I read that statement, that makes me sad because it helps me to realize what a big impact windstorms can have on the lives of people in their path. And as the reader, that makes me want to read on and read more, possibly find out what I can do to prepare for a windstorm if it were to occur in the area in which I live. Another type of hook that you can try out is a descriptive hook. So although we are writing in the informational genre, sometimes informational writers may begin an informative piece by including a short narrative that almost sets the scene or helps the reader to visualize the information they're about to present. So giving details relating to your topic that describe certain events or different facts relating to your topic can help the reader to begin to picture the information that you're presenting to them in their head so they can understand it better. For example, here I describe the windstorm as looking out your window Thursday night, you may have thought you had stepped out of Rochester and into a scene in The Wizard of Oz. Strong winds blew items haphazardly to and fro as residents battened down the hatches in preparation for the storm. So there I've begun to describe what was happening outside, which will then lead me into giving information about how someone could stay safe in a windstorm. Another type of hook that a reader that a reader would become interested in a piece of writing by is a mystery statement hook. So in this type of hook, you're making the reader wonder what direction you're going to take your topic in, which will cause them to want to read more and find out more and pick up more clues in the rest of your writing to figure out what you're giving information on. So this is a statement that will give the reader a few clues to help them predict your topic, but it will not tell them the whole story, give them the whole picture right away. For example, as 4 p.m. approached on Thursday afternoon, the weather in Rochester had taken a turn for the worse. So some information I'm beginning to get as the reader is that some sort of major weather event is happening in Rochester, beginning to happen, yet I do not know yet what type of weather event that is. So it makes me want to read on and pick up more clues and find out what really is going on. Finally, one last type of hook that you can try out as a writer is a strong persuasive statement. So the purpose of this is to convince your reader of an opinion related to the information you will give about your topic. So this would include some sort of statement that contains an opinion related to the topic. For example, very dangerous winds will produce some damage. Well-constructed frame homes could have damage to roof, shingles, vinyl, siding, and gutters. So although some of that could be things that did happen to some people, it also can also be an opinion or a prediction based on what I know already. So that's persuading me as the reader, if I'm reading an informational piece on how to survive a windstorm, that, well, a windstorm could create very dangerous conditions, so I should read up on all the information that I may need to know to prepare for it the best I can. So there are many different ways that you can hook your reader. These are just a few techniques to begin thinking about and trying out in your writing. I definitely want to invite you to try out some of these as you begin your writing pieces to interest your reader. And if you are trying to think and decide which hook to try out first, think about the purpose of your writing piece, where you want to go with your informational writing, and from there, what type of hook might fit best. You may even want to try beginning your writing piece with a few different types of hooks and see what fits best and works well with the flow of the rest of your writing piece, so there's a smooth transition into the information and the details you give. So I hope you have a great week and that you really enjoy continuing to write in the informational genre. Good luck trying out some of these hooks. I hope you have a lot of fun, and thanks for watching. Bye.